Welcome to 8 Weeks to a Better You. Week 4, we are focusing on mind, our superpower. The mind is our superpower because it shapes how we perceive, react, and overcome challenges. With the right mindset, it can turn obstacles into opportunities and fuel extraordinary achievements. Today, we'll explore some serious mental health issues, focusing on awareness, because awareness is key to prevention. Our body and mind constantly send us signals, but in the rush for daily life, we often miss them. Ignoring these early signals can lead to unexpected emergencies that no one should have to face. My goal here is to spread awareness so we can recognize these signals early and take action to avoid those nightmare situations. We should aim to minimize the use of medication for mental health issues whenever possible, as they can mostly come with significant side effects. Many mental health challenges, if identified early, can usually be addressed without medication through awareness, lifestyle changes, and alternative approaches. Today, let's explore some common mental health issues that are frequently treated with medication but may also be managed or improved with non medical strategies. Number one in the list is stress. Now, we all know stress can be caused by many different situations or life events, such as a deadline at work, fighting with your kids, being stuck in traffic, and even an email about a late bill. While some stress is normal and can be helpful, too much stress can cause physical and mental health problems. Chronic stress can worsen existing health problems, increase the risk of depression and anxiety, and lead to substance abuse. Now, usually the medication given for stress is like anti anxiety drugs and sedatives. These are definitely not good. So, what else can be done? Stress management techniques like mindfulness, meditation, or yoga can be really helpful. Regular exercise is critical to release those endorphins, and prioritizing self care and time management is really crucial for stress management. Mild to moderate anxiety. Anxiety is an emotion that can feel like fear, dread, or uneasiness. It can be a normal response to stress, such as a difficult work problem or an upcoming test. However, anxiety can become a disorder when it doesn't go away and worsens over time and interferes with your daily life. Anxiety disorders can include generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, and various phobias. They can lead to serious complications such as depression, alcoholism, or drug abuse. Now, there are many medications like SSRIs and other stuff given for resolving anxiety, but there are a lot of non medication approaches that really work. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can be used to reframe anxious thoughts. Deep breathing exercises and progressive muscle relaxation are really helpful, and journaling to identify and address triggers can be really crucial. Another common problem these days is insomnia, which is a common sleep disorder that makes it difficult to fall or stay asleep or to get quality sleep. It can cause you to feel tired during the day and can impact your mood, energy levels, and ability to concentrate. Some possible causes of insomnia include stressful thoughts, depression, certain medications, and consuming caffeine late in the night. I highly recommend going over the week 1 videos focusing on sleep, as sleep is a super basic foundation for overall health and wellness. Now, the medications can be sleep aids or melatonin supplements, which can be avoided by just having some good sleep hygiene practices like a consistent sleep schedule and minimizing screen time before bed. Creating a sleep friendly environment that is dark, quiet, and cool, and avoiding stimulants like caffeine or heavy meals close to bedtime can help. And there are many more discussed in the week 1 videos, which will be really helpful pointers. Another common one nowadays is depression. Depression is a serious mental illness that can affect how a person feels, thinks, and acts. Some common causes are a complex combination of social, psychological, and biological factors, including some stressful life events such as death of a loved one, divorce, or trauma, medical conditions such as chronic pain or diabetes, an imbalance of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine, genetics if a first degree relative has depression. There are different types of depressions, and it's a huge topic by itself. But the medication given for depression are antidepressants, and this can be really, really bad with huge side effects. Now, there are some non medication approaches that can be tried, like regular physical activity to boost that serotonin and dopamine. Spending time in nature, example green therapy or ecotherapy. Building a strong support system and seeking talk therapy. Now, friends are really super critical here. Talking to a friend is the best therapy anyone can get. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Now, this is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by persistent patterns of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity, often causing difficulties in daily life, including at school or work, and can manifest in varying degrees, with some individuals experiencing primarily inattentive symptoms, while others may exhibit more of hyperactive and impulsive behaviors. It is typically diagnosed in childhood and can continue into adulthood. Now, there are a lot of stimulants that are given as medication, but the non medication approaches can be behavioral therapy and structured routines, mindfulness practices to improve focus and self regulation, dietary adjustments like reducing processed foods and sugar. Panic attacks. This is a brief episode of intense anxiety that can cause physical and mental symptoms. Panic attacks can feel like a heart attack or losing touch with reality. Panic attacks can last from a few minutes to half an hour, but the physical and emotional effects can last for hours. They can happen frequently and unexpectedly, even when there's no real danger. While panic attacks are frightening, they're not dangerous and won't cause physical harm. However, frequent and prolonged panic attacks can be disabling. People with panic disorder may avoid situations that they fear. Now, the medication usually given for these are beta blockers and anti anxiety drugs, which again come with a lot of side effects. So, some other options could be breathing techniques like the 4-7-8 method, identifying and avoiding triggers where possible, and gradual exposure therapy for desensitization. Social anxiety. This is also called social anxiety disorder or social phobia. And this is a mental health condition where a person experiences intense and persistent fear in social situations, often stemming from a fear of being judged or scrutinized by others, leading them to avoid social interactions or endure them with significant distress. This can manifest in symptoms like blushing, sweating, rapid heartbeat, and difficulty speaking in front of people. Now, beta blockers and some SSRIs are given as medication for this, but this can be completely avoided by non medication approaches. So, gradual exposure to social situations and public speaking or social skills training is helpful. Relaxation techniques like meditation or grounding exercises can be really helpful here. OCD. Now, this is something you would have commonly heard people use, but what is it really? Obsessive compulsive disorder is a mental health condition that causes people to have uncontrollable recurring thoughts, obsessions, and repetitive behaviors, compulsions. OCD can significantly interfere with daily life, causing distress and making it hard to concentrate. People with OCD may avoid situations that trigger their OCD, making it difficult to go to work, see friends and family, or eat out. Some medications used are SSRIs and antidepressants, but the non medication approaches include ERP therapy, that is, exposure and response prevention therapy, mindfulness based strategies to resist compulsive behaviors, and identifying triggers and managing them with professional guidance. General fatigue and burnout. Now, these are like common things, right? Nobody even sees it as a mental health issue. So, let's try to understand this with a story. Arjun was known for being dependable. No matter how much work piled up or how chaotic things got, he always had a smile on his face. But what no one saw was the invisible weight he carried, a constant feeling of exhaustion, racing thoughts, and moments where even getting out of bed felt like a struggle. Everyone feels stressed, he thought, brushing off those signs. He kept pushing, ignoring the subtle clues his mind was giving him. Until one day, during a team meeting, he completely blanked out, unable to focus, unable to think. It was as if his mind had hit a wall. A concerned friend suggested he speak to a therapist. At first, Arjun hesitated. What could they tell me that I already don't know about myself? But when he finally went, he realized something life changing. His symptoms weren't just normal stress. He was battling burnout and anxiety, things he had never even named. Through awareness, Arjun learned to identify the signs early, when to rest and when to say no, and when to seek help. He realized that the key to fixing mental health issues was first acknowledging that they existed. So, mental health issues can be invisible, but that doesn't make them less real. Awareness is the first step towards healing. You can't fix what you don't see. For burnout and fatigue, right, there are medications given like energy boosters or stimulants, but please understand that these are not good for your body, nor for your mind eventually. So, what are the non medication approaches? Prioritizing work life balance, regular breaks and power naps during the day, and nutritional adjustments and hydration can be helpful. Chronic stress induced migraines. Now, usually there are painkillers and anti migraine drugs given, and these seem very common. But let's try to understand this with another story. Mira's deadlines at work were endless, and she was constantly juggling tasks. Over time, she started experiencing pounding headaches that wouldn't go away. Each migraine left her exhausted, but she ignored the signs, thinking, it's just stress, I'll push through. One day, the pain became so unbearable she couldn't even focus. A doctor explained that her chronic stress was triggering the migraines and her body was begging for a break. So, what did Mira do? She started practicing mindfulness, scheduling short walks, and delegating tasks. As she learned to manage stress, her migraines lessened and she regained her energy. So, the lesson here is that chronic stress can manifest physically. Listen to your body and take steps to manage stress before it takes over. Another very common problem these days, but many of us don't even realize that it's a problem, is the tech addiction and screen overload. Let's see another small story to understand this. Aryan spent all day glued to his screens, laptop for work, phone for social media, and TV to unwind. By night, his eyes burned, his head was breaking, and he felt restless. He had planned to sleep early, but scrolling through videos kept him up till 2 a.m. again. Then he decided he has to take action. So the next day, Aryan tried a new rule: no screens 1 hour before bed and regular breaks using the 20-20-20 rule. You remember that, right? We spoke about it. Look 20 feet away for 20 seconds every 20 minutes. Within a week, his sleep improved and so did his focus. What's the lesson here? Balance tech use with breaks to avoid burnout and reclaim your health. Now, usually there are some prescriptions given which are more around anti anxiety medication, even for tech addiction and screen overload. But definitely, we should try to avoid those and use these non medication approaches. Another super common problem these days is emotional eating. It occurs when someone uses food to cope with or numb their feelings rather than eating to satisfy physical hunger. It's usually triggered by stress, sadness, boredom, or other overwhelming emotions. Ria had a tough day at work. Her boss criticized her presentation, a client meeting went poorly, and she got stuck in traffic on the way back home. By the time she stepped through her front door, she felt drained and defeated. Now, without even realizing it, she went straight to the kitchen, grabbed a tub of ice cream, and sat on the couch. Spoon after spoon, she ate, not because she was hungry, but because it was comforting. As the creamy sweetness melted on her tongue, it seemed to dull the sting of the day's frustrations. Later, as she put the empty tub in trash, Ria felt a wave of guilt and regret. She wasn't any less stressed than before, but now she felt bad about eating too much. It was a cycle she knew all too well, using food as a temporary escape but never addressing the real issues behind her feelings. Now, do you know there are actual medications given like appetite suppressants for this issue, which I think it's very clear we should not use them. Now, there are a lot of non medication approaches to resolve this problem: mindful eating practices and food journaling, understanding triggers through self awareness or therapy, building healthy eating habits, and planning meals. Remember, emotional eating is a way to soothe feelings, not actual physical hunger. So, recognizing triggers and finding alternative coping methods can help break that pattern. Now, there are many more mental health issues that we are not talking about today because of lack of time. There are something called seasonal affective disorder, SAD, postpartum depression, which is usually after delivering a baby, the mother feels it, and also emotional regulation issues. Now, remember, the main point I'm trying to convey here is most of these issues that are treated nowadays with medication can be treated without medication and the bad side effects that it brings by using non medication techniques, and that's what we're trying to focus. So, while medication is sometimes necessary for severe cases or when guided by a professional, raising awareness about alternate approaches can help individuals explore on those non invasive and sustainable solutions for better mental health. Today's takeaway is to just understand and be aware of all these and have the time to see the signals our body and mind are trying to give us. Challenge for today: completely skip social media for one day and see how it impacts you. You will be able to enjoy real life more than ever. I hope you found this video helpful. That's all for today. Stay focused, stay unstoppable, and thank you.